The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
It was a record year for stock sales by corporate insiders. CEOs, executives, and board members sold over $170 billion of their corporate stock last year. That's according to data from Smart Insider. The sales were up 80% over 2020 and more than 2.5 times their pre-pandemic levels.
Of course, because they know. They know what's going on. They know a crash is coming. They can see it. I mean, it's so obvious. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Welcome aboard. Hope you had a great Christmas and, of course, New Year. We are into the new year. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about what's happened over this so-called Christmas rally. What you'll be looking at going forward. One thing, turn off your TVs. Don't listen to these jibber jabbers. They have no idea of what they're doing. It's not their job to help you. Understand that. Their job is to get you fired up. That's their job. Get you excited. So you go out and spend. When you spend, they get the advertising money. That's how they get on the air. They need you to feel good. They want to push this market rally up. And we're going to talk about this rally. Think about this. This is amazing. I was watching Pisani when I took the week off. And I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed here and caught up on a lot of work. Things I don't have an opportunity to do with the market, research, so forth, during the week. But with a week off, I get a lot done. And I listened to him the other morning. He was all excited. He came on and he was telling us how that we had this big rally that was last Monday, okay, December 27th, following the Christmas break. He came on, he said, the S&P hit its 69th record high of 2021. Then he went on to exclaim, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe we've had a 69th record high. That was of December 27th. What are you, nuts? Hard to believe? What is so hard to believe? When all record new highs for the year 2021 were the direct result of a 30% increase in QE, stock buybacks. In fact, the 69th record high, which he exclaimed, boy, it's hard to believe, they injected $234 billion in the last quarter to get that record high. QE, stock buybacks. All financially engineered. 69 record highs for 2021. You think that's a surprise to anyone? If it's a surprise, they're too low. Should be more than that. This is nuts. What is so hard to believe? During COVID, when the S&P dropped 31% from its February 18, 2020 to March 19, 2020 low, remember, 31%, that the market turned right around off its lows of March and rallied in 12 months, put in an 81% rally, all kinds of new highs. What's so hard to believe about that? When the Fed printed and put in $1.5 trillion for more stock buybacks. Not to mention, in the last quarter, actually, take the last 18 months to 2020 and 2021, the 51 trillion, this is not QE money, the 51 trillion they print called money supply, the last 18 months between 2020 and 2021, about 18, I think it was about 18% of that was going towards the last two quarters, what I'm trying to say, the last quarter. And that's another reason why we got all these highs. So, I mean, it's not hard to believe. You got a market that's being financially engineered with $51 trillion, for God's sakes, in money supply that they started in 2001, which, as I said, about 18%, about 11, I think 11% of it in the last 18 months, okay, came in. And then you got all this, stock buybacks. It's just crazy, of course. That's what's so hard to believe. But I'll tell you what, 40 trillion or 2.5 trillion a year. Now let's think about this. 40 trillion since 2008 or 2.5 trillion a year or $1,500 a month in wages since 2008. That is how much this QE, this upward redistribution of income, came from Main Street workers up to the top 1%. Listen to what I'm saying. All of this QE that's created all these rallies. Let's take 2008 to 2021, 533% rally, $105 trillion. Let's take the January 2020 to January 2021, 70%. 27%, about $3 trillion. Let's take S&P, March 2020 to March 2021, 73% rally, another $15 trillion in gains. Even Trump's rally, from November 16th to March 2020, 55% rally, another $9 trillion. All of that money goes up to the 1 percentile, not to Main Street. That's called QE. That's what QE does. QE is terrible. It's extreme income inequality. 38 trillion or over 14 years or 168 months is taken out of your wages directly. That money should be going to your wages. You should be getting an extra $1,500 every month for the last 168 months. But you know where that money went to? That money went to this QE to artificially push the stock market higher. That's right, since 2008. You paid for it, but you didn't get the money because of the upward redistribution of QE. That's how it's designed. When this money goes in, the guys at the top get it, not Main Street. They get squat. So now we're at a point that this market is really getting tired. The banks are very worried. Did you notice investors are not buying these banks? One thing that banks love is high yields. And what we've been seeing is the yield's been climbing from 138 basis points, okay, to 163. The banks should be soaring, going through the roof, but they're not. They're not. Why? Because the banks know that something's very wrong. They're worried about the headwinds, and the big elephants in the room are, again, the inflation. And again, the massive debt is that massive debt that's killing these banks. The banks, remember, carrying all this corporate debt. And so investors are very worried about the banks. And that's why these banks should be doing a lot better than they are. And we're going to talk about these banks a little bit later here. But my God, if you're going to do anything at all for the next couple of days, just sit back and let this market settle down. Talk more about that when you come back. Don't make a mistake here.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Warning, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the .com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. Tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. I just found that number during the break. 11% of the total $51 trillion increased money supply that started in 2008 has been injected into the market in the last 18 months. Many of those records are coming from that 51 trillion or the increase in money supply, not from earnings, and that is the problem. You know, QE, most people have no idea what it is, but I can tell you this. All the S&P 500 rallies, all of them, after the 2008 crash, every one of them, would have never occurred, including the latest S&P 2021 rally of 27%. Never would have happened if it's not for QE, quantitative easing. That's all that is just printing money. And when they get the money, the Fed, they give it to our big investment banks, and they go in and they buy stock to push the market up. Or the Fed itself goes in and buys from the bad companies their debt and put it on their balance sheet, shift it from the bad company to Fed's own balance sheet, so you're propping them back up. We never had this after the 1929 crash or any of the crashes. This never happened after the dot-com crash. Didn't happen in 1987. We never had this. Because QE, remember, is designed for a very short period of time. Because it's very dangerous. Because of the fact that it's so extreme. This upper redistribution is so extreme. I mean, all the money goes from the bottom, the working guy, up to the top 1%. You keep doing that, you destroy your country. You destroy the middle class, and that's what they've done. So all these rallies that you've seen since 2008, every one of them, happened because of QE. And see, these rallies aren't sustainable. Well, I know you're going to say, well, they've been up for 11 years, 14 years. But they're not sustainable. Let me explain. When these rallies, the only way you can get a sustainable rally without these crashes and without these big moves up and big moves down is you get the rallies from economic growth. And economic growth comes from business investment. And that business investment increases productivity, and that increases wages, which increases savings, and you get startup businesses, which are most important to our economy. And also you get spending, which drives our economic growth, about 72% of it. None of that has happened since 2008. You've got to increase revenue from economic growth. And when you increase revenue from economic growth, it benefits the government. They don't have to keep running deficits. Our standard of living goes up. None of that has happened. None of these rallies. So if you really think about QE is and how it's going to affect us going forward here and what the bottom line is going to be to this next crash, quantitative easing, that is a product that came from the Troubled Asset Relief Program. Remember TARP, when we had the crash in 2008, the housing crash? And again, to understand this, if you go back to that housing crash, Bush was panicked. So what he did, he printed all this money called TARP. He created this TARP program. And that TARP program would be used to fund people, trying to fund people that are having, trouble with their homes, trying to hold on to their homes. They hope they didn't go into, foreclosure. That's what the TARP was all about. The Asset Relief Program was to combat this terrible crisis we had in housing, this 2007 crash. and J.P. Morgan and Bank of America and Citi and Wells Fargo and Bear Stearns. They were the problem because they set up all these companies like Countrywide and IndyMac and all these shell companies or these companies that could go out and loan to anybody. Wouldn't have to check their credit. If you came to J.P. Morgan, they had to check your credit, have to check everything, your income. But they would set up a company you go to, and none of that would be checked, and they give you a loan, even though you couldn't even make the payment. And they would stamp it AAA. They get it approved AAA, and then they'd sell those loans to Fannie and Freddie, and that's how this whole thing came crashing down. That's how they were making money. And so on September 2008, we were really in trouble. We were heading towards a depression. So the credit markets that provide all the funding for credit cards and student loans and mortgage loans and auto loans and all that, plus we're losing 800,000 jobs a month. In fact, the household wealth was falling by 17% more than 5 times the decline in 1929. This was scary. So they came up with TARP. They printed $32 billion, Bush, right away, October 2008. He signs it. He says, I'm going to help the struggling homeowners. Now, guess what they did? So from that TARP money came QE, quantitative easing. See, Baby Bush didn't want to break out the banks. He didn't want to take the weak banks and break them out from the strong banks and then let the bad banks go. He wanted to take care of all the banks. He wanted to keep the bad banks going. He wanted to protect them because that's how he got into office. It was the banks, remember, that took care of him. His family was in banking, so he didn't want to go into a recession. So he would go and start QE to start taking these banks and bailing them out. That's where QE came from. They printed all this money under these QE program, trillions of dollars, to go into these bad banks and take their bad subprime mortgages and take their bad mortgages off their balance sheet, like from J.P. Morgan, and shift it to their own balance sheet. See, that's where QE came from. It wasn't supposed to move the market up artificially. More when I get back. Join my gang free for 10 days. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down. It keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down. It keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Are you tired of being lied to about some magical economic recovery that only benefits the 1 percentile? And then when the market does collapse, you're sitting there calling your broker, what do I do? When you should be shorting? Learn how to short the market. Continue to listen to my radio show, philsgang.com. Become a member, only $39.95 a month, and learn how to short.
Don't wait. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
When the markets open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativegroup.com.
License number A1900020.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
To be ready for this coming year, join my gang. It's free for 10 days. And you also get the color-coded chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to sell short. You've got to learn how to sell short. It's so easy. And the program is set up especially for people who are busy or who just don't want to learn, who say to me and see me on the street many times, you know, I go to Car Wash or Publix and they say, Phil, I love your show, but I just don't have time to learn. I said, well, fine, then go to the QE program, the Working Investor Program. Every day, Steve takes our portfolio. It's our portfolio stocks, actual portfolio, investment portfolio. And he posts it. And he tells our members, pick whatever stocks you want. And then he takes each one of those stocks and tells the members what to do based on the color-coded technology that tells us when the money's going in or the money's coming out of the stock. You don't listen to these babbleheads. Just like going up from Christmas to New Year's, the market's rallying. People are going to get crushed. The market's going up and the volume's going down. They have no idea. That's called the divergence. So you got the stock market going up because there's nobody in the market. The big institutions are gone, the big boys. They're on vacation the whole week. So the stocks go up because there's no institutions shorting it. And they think, oh boy, they're heroes in making money. They're going to lose all the money they made. The banks. They're trying to push these banks so hard right now to stop this crash from happening. It's not going to work. Even today, I told my members, take a look at the banks. There's a few banks we picked. We put some scouts on. We're watching them. But they're in trouble. We can make some money on them. We'll know when to get out. But better, we'll know when to get out and to sell short. Why do you think these people, the big CEOs, the big boys, are selling into these rallies? All these rallies we have, they sell into them. Doesn't that mean something to you? They're selling into these rallies. Look, to understand why the crash, remember, they don't care. Wall Street doesn't care. These guys on CNBC, Fox, Business, they don't care. They're going to keep crushing Main Street with inflation. Prices are going to keep going up, and they're going to keep doing what they've been doing since October of 2008. When they put the first $29 trillion, they gave it to the banks, they printed it, and sent it to the banks, the bad banks, instead of bankrupting most of these big banks. They kept them alive, gave them, I'll round it off, $30 trillion. They said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in now. We call this quantitative easing. And part of this quantitative easing program, there's several parts, but this one is talking about monetization of your debt. We're going to take off your balance sheet your bad loans that aren't performing. And we're going to move them on our balance sheet. And because you, Citi, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, because you are a member of the Federal Reserve, you have an account. You have a reserve account. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay you 100 cents on the dollar for these mortgages. Even though a mortgage is $100,000, it's only worth about $10,000. We're going to give you the $100,000. We're going to credit your account with $100,000. But here's what we want you to do. We don't want you to loan that money to these people who are suffering, who may go into foreclosure. We don't want you to lend to any small business who just needs a little bit of help for a line of credit. We don't want you to lend to them either. We want you to go in and buy your own stock, called stock buybacks. So the Federal Reserve kept printing more money. Keep giving it, give it to the banks again. They go in and buy from the banks all their bad mortgages, subprime mortgages that weren't performing, and they put it on their balance sheet. And the bank would have more cash, and he would go out and he'd start buying gold and start buying silver and start buying his own stock. Soon, they moved this program to other corporations, not just the banks, but other corporations, called monetization of debt. That's QE. They go to these companies that should be going into foreclosure, but Obama, he didn't want to foreclose on them, or did Baby Bush. Matter of fact, those two characters almost doubled our debt. They kept printing this money, and they kept giving it to the banks for the banks to go out and to keep buying, again, gold, silver, or go and take and do, buy their own stock. It was crazy. And in about 12 weeks, bank stocks went up about 140%. And as I said, all the other corporations, gee, can we do it too? Can we do it too? JCPenney, can we do it? Mobil, can we do that? Sure. They print money, gave it to those corporations. We'll buy your bad debt. Soon, the market, boom, is taking off. Boom. All of a sudden, we got QE1, QE2, and we got QE1, bang. They give them $1 trillion. The market goes up 80%. So remember this. They print $1 trillion, give it to the banks, right? And the bank, they buy from the banks all their bad loans and crap, and they credit their account $1 trillion, and then they go in with that $1 trillion and they buy their own stock. All of a sudden, 80%. QE2, November 2010. Another $650 billion. Market goes up 33%. QE3. Another $400 billion. Market goes up at 28%. Now look at this. 2008, 2010, 2011. God, the market's moved 80%, 33%, 20%, and nobody's making any money. No profits. It's called QE. QE1, QE2. Oh, twist. Now QE3, October 2012. Another $1 trillion. Market goes up another 25%. Now think about this, $3.1 trillion, and the market moves 166%, nobody's making any money. That's how we got where we are. Now they're supposed to stop this. Bernanke said we were going to stop this because the problem, all the profits are going from Main Street up to the 1% and the 1/100th of 1%. And this is very dangerous because the inflation is terrible. It kills Main Street. But then they are addicted. They were addicted. All of a sudden, they're supposed to stop. Instead of stopping, at the end of October 2008 or 2010, they added to the money supply. They added another $50 trillion to the money supply. Keep doing the same thing. 2009 comes. Hey, I guess you guys are supposed to stop. No, we're going to print another $9 trillion. And what we'll do, we'll give it to you big investment banks again. And what we want you to do is we want you to loan. We want you to loan to all the hedge funds that are having trouble. And the brokerage house is having trouble. We want you to loan to them. With the $9 trillion we're giving. Market's going up. Market goes up again. 2010, they put another $650 billion. And we say, they tell the banks, go out and buy treasuries now. Let's go buy treasuries because we want to keep interest rates at zero. So if you keep buying treasuries, we'll keep interest rates at zero. Market rallied 33%. It's unbelievable. 2011. 2012. Then finally Trump gets in his presidency, 2016. Market's roaring. But guess what? Nobody's making money. Companies aren't making money. They don't need to make money. And what's this been doing to America? What's it been doing to Main Street? Screwing every person on Main Street. The bottom 90% of our population, the workers, all getting screwed, and they're still getting screwed today. Still getting screwed today because this is a terrible program that they wouldn't stop. This upward redistribution of wealth is the worst thing in the world. Worst thing in the world to do to people. The rich get richer. And then now everything's inflation because when your money supply is outpacing your production. And that's what was funny. They blamed the February 2020 crash on COVID. No, that's not what took COVID. That's not what took it down. Yeah, it was the trigger. But they realized going in 2 months before COVID, before the crash, they knew that the money supply from 2008 to 2020, more than $52 trillion, is outpacing production. And that's what's pushing prices up. More when I get back. Join my gang so you can get the right stocks, be in the right stocks right out of the gate the first of the year here. Free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Short on time, but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you start making money, please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Thinking about investing in the stock market? Go to philsgang.com, where we have over 50 years experience in trading and investing in the stock market. Phil's Gang teaches you how to make profits in the market with stock chart analysis, up-to-the-minute alerts, and always keeping you informed with professional guidance in long and short-term positions. Go to philsgang.com or call one of our professional staff to answer your questions. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Stop wondering about your financial future and start doing something about it.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Now, please remember, join my gang free for 10 days. Why don't you follow us for 10 days with the banks? They got to push these banks up. What they're doing, and you can see it, the 10-year Treasury yield from a low of 138 basis points is now, as of now, they pushed that baby up to 163 basis points. Why are they doing that? Because the banks are the leadership group. Everybody's been chasing these tech stocks, and you've been buying these stocks from these jibber jabbers telling you, buying a dip. And I kept warning you, don't do it. The banks, okay, some of these banks will work. We know which ones will work. We will know which ones won't work. Why don't you join our gang? Because they're going to be printing and pushing as much money in these banks as they possibly can. They have no choice. They got to move these banks. They're the leaders. They know it's the only thing that's going to stop a crash. But this crash isn't going to stop. And here's the thing. But see, they don't care. The politicians don't care. Because politicians are making money off the stock market. Pelosi's making money. She doubled her income off the stock market. Politicians don't care. Republicans, Democrats, they don't care. Nobody cares. See, this QE, when they found out in doing this QE, the QE1, the QE2, the QE3, when they did all that QE and the market went up 160%, and the companies didn't have to make money, in all those gains, through, again, remember what QE is, an upward redistribution of money. It's an extreme inequality. That's why they don't do it for long. Went right up, out of Main Street, right into the hands of the very, very wealthy. So they didn't want to stop. Because look at the wealth they are creating. The top 1%, as the bottom 90% aren't gaining anything. They're getting killed with inflation. But nobody cares that you're getting killed. Nobody cares what milk costs. Nobody cares what gasoline costs. You've got nobody out there that cares. There's not one Republican that cares. There's not one Democrat that cares. Nobody cares. Because everybody's in the stock market making money. So they're going to keep pushing this money. And they're well aware of the dangers of this QE. Think of what these crooks did. They went in and bought all the bad mortgages from the big investment banks, and then they'd credit their account Remember, it's all on computer. Credit account, 10 trillion, 7 trillion. And they take the money and buy their own stock. And that's why the market, since 2008, is up 533%. Not earnings, not economic growth, not wages. None of that's happening. So how much more are they going to push this? And how much more are they going to make the 90% suffer with high food prices and gas prices and everything else? Prescription drugs. They don't care. Why do you think they're coming in with all these different programs? We don't remember what stimulus is. These stimulus programs are nothing more than life support. Why do you think Trump started the first program? After they did all these QEs, they come in with even more money. The CARES Act, the American Rescue Plan, the American Family Plan, the Child Tax Care Plan, this plan, that plan. That's what they're doing now. More money. More money. Are you kidding me? $350 billion to the cities and the states to make up the shortfall between their revenues and their income. What the hell do I care about some state I'm not living in? $10 billion to subsidize people's rent and mortgage payments. This is nuts. See what they're doing? But the market will keep going up at the peril of the guy on Main Street who's making an income, him and his wife, anywhere from, let's say, from $85,000. Okay, even actually it's more than that, about $125,000 lower. Let's say from $30,000 to $125,000, they're getting killed. They're getting killed. So now they're trying to do all these plans to hold off the crash. So you got to know what stocks to be in, because every time they keep injecting money to keep pushing this market up with more QE, you think anyone sits there and says, God, look what gasoline is. Look what prescription drugs are. Look what food is. Look what clothing is. Look what my insurance costs. Do you think they care? They don't care. They're making a fortune. But you should be making that money. But here's where the real money's going to be made. Today we picked out some beautiful bank stocks. We picked out a couple of nice semis today. Intel was one of them. We're making money here. But we're going to make a ton of money when this market crashes. But never, ever in the history of this market have we ever seen anything like this, where this was supposed to be for 8 weeks. 8 months the most. When they started out that first $30 trillion to go to all the big investment banks and say, we're going to buy from you your bad subprime mortgages. And we're going to credit your account, $30 trillion. You got $30 trillion now, but don't take that money and don't you dare loan it to a guy who's having trouble with his house and you can save him. You may be losing his house. Don't you do that. And don't you dare give that little businessman on Main Street, he just needs a little line of credit to survive. Don't you dare. We want you to go and buy your own stock. Boy, then that caught on. Buy my own stock? Boom! 140% these stocks go up. I think it was 12 weeks, something like that. So that's where we are today. So we came back. This is a new year. Here's the number, 877-600 gang, and be part of the 20% who make money consistently, whether the market goes up or the market goes down. It doesn't matter what the economy's doing. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. We'll always be on the right side of the market. And you got 10 days to see if I'm right or wrong about that. We can't continue. After 14, this is going on 14 years. This is supposed to last maybe 8 months. We're going on 14 years. They've destroyed our country. But if you're in the market, you're made a fortune. Made a fortune. But remember, now the banks, the reason they're trying to push these banks up, that's why I want you to join my gang. Follow us with the banks we're in. Because they got to push these banks up. They got to push these banks up. But it's going to be a tough road for them. They're too late. They got to push these banks up. Because all that money they've been printing for the money supply, all the money they've been printing for QE, all the money they've been printing to go in and buy from the banks all their bad assets so they can inject money into their accounts so they can keep buying their own shares. All that money's created such an inflation. It's so dangerous. This is crazy. And if anyone thinks, well, this can go on forever, I heard that over the week too. Oh, this can go on forever. They can do QE forever. No, they can't. No, they can't. They can't do QE forever. Because the same thing that happened back in 2008 when they hit the wall and they finally hit a crisis, they knew it was up. And that's this time when we hit the wall, we're going to go right through it. We're going to go right through the wall. Back in 2008 when they hit the wall, the first thing they did was the TARP program, $32 billion, remember? And that was a joke, the TARP program. They didn't want them to recover. They did not want these homes, the owners that were struggling to recover. That TARP program was a sham. It was a joke. They made it so difficult that nobody got money. Very few people got money. Then that's when they shifted from the TARP went to QE. When Baby Bush turned around and said, "Okay, banks, I'm going to give you all this money. Now you go buy we're going to buy from you all your bad debt, all the bad mortgages, all your bad loans, and then we're going to credit your accounts to buy your own stock." Boy, did that catch on like a forest fire. Buy your own stock? Then all the corporations, Nestle, can I do it? Starbucks, can I do that too? Lowe's, hey, can I buy my own stock? Sure. And think how they destroyed the dollar. They destroyed the purchasing power of the dollar. And then when they got done with QE, they started with what? The CARES Act. Let's print $2.2 trillion for that. Then they started with the American Rescue Plan. Let's print $2 trillion for that. What the hell? We'll give everybody $1,400. We'll give a married couple $2,800. We'll give every child they have $2,000 to $3,600. We'll just print more. Imagine that, the CARES Act. Then you got the Biden Act, the Biden American Rescue Plan. He's the one that's gone nuts. So what do we got to do? Let's just make money. Let's be on the right side. Let's be in a position we don't care what these idiots do. And we don't care if the market goes up or down. And you can prove that to yourself in over 10 days. It works. Check it out. It works. philsgang.com. Sign up where it says Working Investor. 10 days free. And get on the right side of this market all of the time. See you on the chart.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Net. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.